Hey, it's me, Vicky Marie. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are in this crazy world we're living in. So, for those of you who don't know, my name's Vicky Marie. I am based in Spain, Europe, but I cover cases from anywhere over the English speaking world, more or less. And a case that we're heavily invested in at the moment, of course, is the case of Nancy Guthrie, 84-year-old woman, plucked from her bed in the middle of the night in Arizona, in America. And we're going to, there's not, every day we look for updates, and sometimes there's a bit of excitement when someone's arrested or the FBI release a statement to say DNA's been found or this, there's all sorts of little nuggets that come out, but nothing has resulted in anyone being found accountable for this event, which is nearly 3 weeks ago now, isn't it? It'd be 3 weeks on Sunday. We're on Friday now. So what I decided to do this morning, because I'm trying to do an update every morning, but there's not really much to update about as far as the investigation is concerned. It feels like it's sort of hit a bit of a stalemate. So, there's all sorts of rumours flying around, and as we know, the actual sheriff in Pena County, Sheriff Nanos, he's not been very good. He still hasn't given a press conference. This has been 2 weeks. And he said he's not giving a press conference today. He's not giving one tomorrow. This was yesterday, he said this. So he said he wouldn't give one Thursday, wouldn't give one Friday, and he's not giving one over the weekend unless there's some dramatic development. So we know we're not going to get a press statement from him. In the meantime, he has been giving individual media interviews for some unknown reason. He says different things in different interviews. We've got to a point with Sheriff Nanos where we really don't actually believe anything he says anyway. So it's like, what's the point in him giving a press interview, if you like? But anyway, at the heart of all this, of course, is this lady, Nancy. Imagine being 84 years old, a masked man, because we have had CCTV, haven't we, of the masked man, breaks into your house. If he did break into a house, I mean, we don't know. We saw him covering up the ring camera, the door camera, but maybe he rang the bell. Maybe he knew Nancy, or maybe somebody else was already in there. We don't know if it's just one person involved. We've got no vehicle that seems to have been involved. We have this CCTV of this guy, but that's more or less all we've got, isn't it? In fact, what I might do is put the pictures up of him. So, of course, there's lots of rumours, there's lots of speculation. Speculation's all we've got at the moment. We've got mainstream media criticising social media, but social media, they are right on this case, aren't they? And I think the ones that are covering it the best, in my opinion, is JLR, because he's just there all the time waiting for developments. He's not really putting out theories about what's happened to Nancy. He's just documenting what's going on. There's a load of excitement when some van turns up at the door. He camps out outside Nancy Guthrie's house, or he was even searching for Nancy yesterday, looking, seem to be doing more searching than the actual police are doing. I don't understand why the police aren't searching constantly, because I feel that Nancy is probably nearby, unfortunately. Anyway, I don't know where Nancy is. I don't know what happened to her. I won't profess to. Just the feeling that I have is that she is nearby somewhere. But then I've started to think, so there's been speculation that she might have been taken over the border to Mexico, or that the perpetrators might have gone to Mexico. Brian Enton went to Mexico. I watched it because it's only an hour away. I mean, it sounds dramatic, doesn't it? But literally, it was an hour to go to Mexico from where this event has happened. And apparently, it's really easy to get into Mexico. He went over there and talked. He went to Mexico, talked to some people. Apparently, it's not been on the news much in Mexico. People didn't seem to know about it. I'm sure the American authorities have spoke. Well, we know that they have spoken to the Mexican authorities. There's no evidence that she's been taken over to Mexico. I know a lot of people think she may have been, and that's fine. Everybody's got their view. Personally, I don't think that they have, but I don't know where she is, so I suppose it's just as likely as anything else, isn't it, that she may have been taken to Mexico. One thing we do know, she's not where she should be, which is in her home. So the night before Nancy disappeared, she was having dinner and a games night with her daughter Annie, who lives up the road, and her husband Tommaso. We do know that, or we've been told that. An Uber came and got Nancy, took her to their house, but then I think Tommaso brought her home. We haven't had anything to released as to what she was wearing when she disappeared, or even what she was wearing that night when she went to Annie and Tommaso's. The sheriff has cleared the family, said that the family and spouses are not involved. So we have to take that as, as read, if you like. So, and Nancy was apparently dropped off just before 10 o'clock that evening. And then all this happened around about 2 o'clock, didn't it, the next morning? So what we're going to do in this video, in the lack of any new real developments in this case, we're going to look at all the, there's been, is it 4 appeals from the family? Oh, because of course, kidnapping notes were initially sent out. One's been proven to be false and the perpetrator arrested, but it feels like these ransom notes, every 30 seconds going to TMZ, a news outlet. In fact, now I feel like I'm just ignoring these ransom notes, and one of them might be true, but of course the ransom notes were not released at all until a couple of days after Nancy went missing. So it doesn't feel like a typical ransom, does it? Normally kidnappers announce their ransom instantly, and to the family or to law enforcement, not to the media. They don't normally want media attention. But these kidnappers, if we were to think that it was true that there were people out there that have kidnapped Nancy, they want maximum attention. They're contacting all the media, and they're giving Bitcoin accounts and now crypto accounts to put this money in. Now you just feel like somebody, it doesn't feel genuine. The police and the FBI don't seem to be taking it as genuine, but of course you don't know what's going on behind the scenes there either, do you? So, it's a wild case, really. It's like something that it doesn't make sense. None of it makes sense. Even if it was a burglary gone wrong, who would actually take an 84-year-old woman out of her home? Normally when burglaries go wrong and they result in deaths, for example, or injuries, the perpetrators just want to get out of there as quickly as possible. They don't want to, this perpetrator was in that home for 47 minutes, I think they said they thought they were there. 47 minutes is a very long time. What were they doing? What were they doing in 47 minutes? And of course, the other odd thing is they turned up at the house with a rucksack, but not an empty rucksack to take away things, a full rucksack. What was in that rucksack? That rucksack, I think the key is in that rucksack, if you like, the answer to all this. Was it the stuff that they wanted to, to take Nancy away? Was it the stuff? Was it not a kidnap plot? Is it a murder? You know, is it a deliberate murder? Did they go in there deliberately to kill Nancy and take her away? Anyway, we've only seen the CCTV of the guy entering the house, trying to cover up the ring door camera, etc. We haven't seen, I'm sure there's more CCTV, maybe of them bringing Nancy out of the house, but there doesn't seem to be a vehicle, has been identified to take Nancy away. Where is Nancy? Where is Nancy? It's a complete baffle. And of course, it makes it worse that we've got this incompetent sheriff in charge who doesn't reassure anybody. You don't feel like with that sheriff that, they even have a clue of what has happened to Nancy, I think. But maybe they do. Maybe they do, and I'm wrong. Anyway, thank you. First of all, just say my thank yous quickly. Thank you for watching. Thanks for subscribing. I really appreciate it. Thank you, special thank you to my members, those of you who sent Ko-fis, super stickers, etc. Emails, with suggestions for cases. Thank you for every positive way you've contributed to my channel. Thank you. So then I'm going to say hello to lovely lurkers. That's those people who like to watch the lives but don't like to chat. Hi to replay crew. Thank you for watching. If you haven't managed to catch the live, thank you for taking the time to watch it afterwards. Someone's in the chat. Let's have a look. Hey, old hippie. Thank you. Yes, I've just watched Brian Ensign go to Mexico. Yes, you can see how easy it is. I'm not denying that. It's easy to go to Mexico. I just don't, because nobody knows about it. I don't know. I think the thing is, even if they've gone to Mexico, and Mexico's a big place, I suppose it could be anywhere. It's possible, isn't it? But I'm not saying it's impossible. All I'm saying is, in my heart, in my feeling, I don't feel that's where she's gone. And I'm going to explain that. The things I'm going to go through in this video might explain to you why I don't feel that. I feel there's more to this case. I'm starting to feel like, is it to do with Savannah? Is this some sort of revenge thing? Because the other thing you've got to think, if they took her to Mexico, why would they take her to Mexico? Even alive or dead. I still don't understand, if it's just a burglary gone wrong, why they would go to all that trouble. Why, if they had no connection to Nancy, why would they not just leave her there? If there's something more to it, I don't know. Is it some crazy, it could be just some crazy who hates Savannah, or saw Nancy's Facebook where she's very down on President Trump, and that, some people take exception to things, don't they? So anyway, of course, the biggest clue that the detectives have got is the DNA. They have got DNA from the scene that is not Nancy's or anybody close to her. And of course, they put it through CODIS. It didn't ping. So it's not somebody who's got previous convictions anyway that's been entered in CODIS. So now the next step is going in through the genealogy link. They'll put it through that database and see if any familial connections come up, like what happened with Brian Kohberger, and that's what helped to convict him. And was it the Golden State Killer, the Golden Bridge Killer? So they have got that, and that's something they're working on, but that takes time. But that's probably the best evidence they've got at the moment, isn't it? But they're tracking down all their leads. Now, there's somebody on one of the many podcasts that I've been watching. Somebody was saying, because now they started doing this thing where you can check how many times people's names have been searched, etc. on Google. So you can see how often Nancy Guthrie's name was searched. And something that was interesting, because so they apparently it wasn't searched a lot from Mexico, let's say, but it was searched a lot from Algeria, they were saying. And of course, Algeria is, well, it's right near Spain for a start. Not far from Spain, anyway. I mean, it is far from Spain, but in the context of the big world that we live in. And Algerian people are dark, just like Latinos. They have because I think what's very striking about whoever that was at the door was their eyes, wasn't it? Their eyes a lot of people thought it was a woman because their eyelashes are so thick, and they look like they had women's eyes. But a lot of Arabic people, same as Hispanic people, have dark eyelashes, vibrant eyes. There's been a lot on social media of people putting pictures up of eyes and saying to people, is this a man or a woman's eyes? And you can hardly tell the difference sometimes. I personally think it's a man. I know the facial hair could have been false, because this person definitely had facial hair under the mask. But was that false? A woman could put on a beard and a moustache, couldn't they, and pretend they had facial hair. But then I looked up if there was a big Algerian population in Arizona. Apparently there is. I did have that somewhere set up. I asked Google, like we do, is there, let me just get it back up. Yeah, I asked Google, is there an Algerian community in Arizona? And Google said yes. Now, this is just a theory that I'm exploring. I'm not saying it's anything to do with Algerians, because Algerians, of course, their religion would be Muslim. Is there something? Savannah and Nancy, they're committed Christians. I'm not saying there is anything to do with them, just in the absence of any better theory, it's something that went through my head. So apparently, yes, there is an Algerian presence in Arizona as part of the broader, rapidly growing Arab American community in the state. So, yeah, active social media groups for Algerians. So we basically, all I'm saying is that shows that it's not completely out of, off the ballpark. If there is an Algerian, are those eyes Arabic rather than, like, we just presume they were Latino, because of course the border is so close to Mexico. It's, people presume about Latino, but what if they were Arabic, not Latino? Because the thing is, it is like when I looked it up on Google and they said, yes, see, if you looked up if there were any Algerians here where I live, even though we're not that far from Algeria, I would say it would come up, there weren't that many, because there's more Moroccans. Moroccans and Algerians, although they're sort of similar culture, they are different. Now, there's a lot of Moroccans in Spain. But I wouldn't say there's so many Algerians. There's more Algerians in France, isn't it? Algeria is more connected with France than it is with Spain. Just an interesting thing. And the reason why as well I'm mentioning that, because it ties in with another thing that I wanted to talk about, is when I think it was JLR, was it? Or one of the social media people went to the gun shops to ask, because apparently the FBI have, sorry, I'll answer your questions in a minute, old hippie. I just want to explain this. Yeah, no, sorry, this computer is rubbish, and I know it keeps freezing. There's absolutely nothing I can do about it. Sorry. Um, the other reason that I'm thinking on the Arabic lines, apart from the eyes and the Algerian searches in from Algeria, is that apparently for in these gun shops where the FBI has been taking lists of 40 names, one of them said, yes, 40 strange names, they said, or unfamiliar names. Now, in Arizona, there in Tucson, you'll know, old hippie, I wouldn't say that Spanish names are unusual, are they? You know, if somebody saw the name, you know, Pedro Martinez, they wouldn't think, oh, that's a strange name. It's a common Latino name, isn't it? Francisco, Martinez, Sanchez, you know, Pedro, Paco, you know, all those different names that are Latino names would not be unfamiliar. You know, I don't think the gun shop owner would describe them as unfamiliar, would they? But what if they were Arabic names? You know, they may describe them as unfamiliar names. Just these are just throwaway thoughts that I'm having in the lack of having any evidence of anything. And yeah, I agree with you, old hippie. There isn't anywhere easier, probably they could take her than Mexico. But they're taking a chance all the same to go to Mexico because they could have got stopped, even though people aren't stopped very often. We could see that with Brian Ensign in his report. People aren't going into Mexico, people aren't stopped very often, but I read they're stopped every 1 in 20 or something like that. So there's a possibility of getting stopped, isn't it? It's very dangerous to take a body over a border, I would say. There's lots of places round about that they could hide, Nancy, aren't there? So, anyway, I don't know. It may turn out she's been. I hope she hasn't been taken to Mexico because will we ever find her then? I don't believe it's a kidnap. I very sadly don't believe that Nancy is still alive. So if they've taken her over the border to Mexico and buried her somewhere in Mexico or hidden her, I don't think we'll ever find out what's happened to her, will we? There's something to me, I feel like she's not far away from where she disappeared from, but that's only a feeling, nothing more than that. But, you know, who knows? Who knows? Yeah, lots of Iranians. Yeah, see, Iranians, they do have these very thick I'm like fixated on those eyelashes. You know, those eyes of that person. They were very feminine. They were feminine. I see why people were saying, "Oh, it's a woman. It's a woman." I don't think it's a woman, but I think it is somebody with very dark eyelashes. But anyway, so yeah, she may have gone to Mexico, but I just hope she didn't, to be honest, because I don't think she'll ever get found then. Now, she may be in someone's basement in Mexico, but I don't, you know, what do you think about these kidnap demands? I don't think they're genuine. I just don't think, you know, there's too many of them. They're too public, they're too random, they're going to TMZ all the time. It's just somebody looking for attention. You always get people like that. But again, I could be wrong. Maybe, you know, maybe they are genuine and maybe Nancy will be released. To me, I wonder if this is a targeted attack. For different. Oh, hang on. There's something, there's something I've just remembered to do on my Spanish and English channel. I get 10 free memberships. I'm streaming to both my channels at the moment, and I get 10 free memberships to give away. And I'm going to send them now. I'm going to send 5 now. So we've got members live tonight. It was supposed to be last night, but it's going to be tonight. Let's see. So the first 5 memberships have gone to Marcia, Flint, Fam, Melly, Tonya, and Linda Bailey. These are the free. The reason I can only give them on my other channel, on my Spanish and English channel, because that actually was the first channel I had, so that's my main channel. That's why. Right, now I've got another 5 that I can give away, which I'm going to do while I remember. I keep forgetting. Another 5. So if you subscribe to my Spanish and English channel and watch occasionally, you may be lucky with a free membership. Oh, there's Julie's on there. Julie Gange, Mr. Smoky Nation, Cameron SM, Mrs. Skeptical, and what's that? Blunsadie's mum. Blunsadie's mum. So there you go. I've given out my free memberships. I'm glad I remembered that because I've forgotten every time that I've done. Every time I do a live, I forget. I've had those for a while to give away. So they can join in the members' lives because I always stream to the 2 channels, to the Spanish and English and to the Vicky Marie Chats channel. As time goes on, I might have to change those around and make the Spanish and English more the main channel. But because that's where I can give the memberships and things. But anyway, I've gone off the point now. So let me put some windows down. So what we're going to look at now, I want to look at the appeals, because they've been very different, haven't they? We've had 4 or 5 appeals from the Guthrie family for their mum to be returned safely. And it started off with a family appeal, the 3 of them, Savannah, Cameron, her brother, and the sister Annie, who is Tommaso's wife. Now, going back to your question earlier, old hippie, as far as I know, Tommaso has been working at the school as normal. He's a teacher at the school. All this about him going to Italy to watch the Olympics and this, that, and the other, it was a load of rubbish. More rubbish spoken. Why is Tommaso gone to watch the Winter Olympics? It's not true. The parents of the children the school that he teaches have come out in support of him. Apparently he's been teaching, he hasn't gone to Italy. He didn't go to Italy. As far as I know, there's no, it's just what people say. This case is turning into, this is what's worrying me a bit. It is like turning into a case with lots of false information. And that's what always happens when you haven't got much information. People make it up, don't they? That's the thing with the sheriff not doing his press conferences, not, all that. So people are starting saying wild things. That's my opinion about it. I think we'll find that when the answer to this case comes out, it's more straightforward than we think. Hi, Mark. So the first appeal was the 3 of them. Then there was an appeal just by Cameron, the brother. Then there was an appeal by the 3 of them again. And then since then, there's been 5 in total because there's been 2 appeals just by Savannah on her own. Now, for those of you following this case, you'll know that Savannah is quite a famous journalist. She was a presenter, wasn't she, on a famous show? But apparently she's, again, whether it's true or not, apparently she's not going back to that show. There was also some sort of, is it connected to her? Why is I do think there's something significant that the last 2 appeals have been done by Savannah alone. Was this kidnapper targeting Savannah to hurt her, or is it, different? Is it, I don't know, some stalker? I mean, what stalkers, you can't underestimate what these celebrity stalkers do. They break into people's homes, they go through their bins, they poison their dogs, they do all sorts of things. And if somebody really wanted to make Savannah suffer, is that what's behind it? again, it's a theory. I'm sure that the FBI and I don't know about the sheriff's office. I don't even want to talk about them really, but certainly the FBI. I'm sure the sheriffs, the deputies are all very hardworking and doing their best to solve this case. It's that bloody sheriff. I just can't bear talking about him. But I'm sure the FBI are exploring all different possibilities. There could be someone who was connected with Nancy in the way that, the pool cleaner, the electrician that's been talked about this. There's been so many things talked about. Or it could be someone who directly wanted to hurt Savannah and did it through her mum. I do think the actual appeals are quite cryptic, aren't they? So that's what we're going to do. We're going to watch the appeals from the first one in order. So the first one. So this is the first one. I've got them all lined up at the top there. Hang on. Actually, I need to put more windows down. I've got too many windows open, and then I can't find the appropriate one. That's that. That was the third one. It's Cameron's. Yeah, 5 appeals they've made so far. So it's quite a lot of appeals, isn't it? And they've all been different. I think they've all been very different. Different appeals from, and a different dynamic in each appeal, in my opinion, anyway. Right, where's that first one gone? That one, isn't it? No, not that one. What's the second one? Oh, there it is. There it is. Yeah, sorry. Okay, so let's look at this. Was the very first appeal. Where they said, anyway, I'll show it you. Right, I hope it plays okay. So this was the first appeal. And it was the three of them, the 3 siblings all together.
On behalf, we want to thank all of you for the prayers for our beloved mom, Nancy. We feel them, and we continue to believe that she feels them too. Mama, if you're listening, we need you to come home. We miss you. Our mom is our heart and our home. She's 84 years old. Her health, her heart is fragile. She lives in constant pain. She is without any medicine. She needs it to survive. She needs it not to suffer. We too have heard the reports about a ransom letter in the media. As a family, we are doing everything that we can. We are ready to talk. However, we live in a world where voices and images are easily manipulated. We need to know, without a doubt, that she is alive and that you have her. We want to hear from you, and we are ready to listen. We will not rest. Your children will not rest until we are together again.
Let me just put them down. So that first one, that first appeal, it was it was not only to the kidnappers, was it? It was to their mum. They addressed their mum directly. Mama, Annie said. They spoke directly not only to the kidnapper but also to their mum. And of course, that was when the first kidnap notes were received within the first couple of days. And then Savannah was there at the front reading from a script. So that was the first appeal. So then the second appeal was made by just Cameron on his own, which again, why? Why just Cameron? Let's have a look at that one. So there's been all the 5 appeals that have been made, been quite different, haven't they? Not only in maybe the people who made them, but the tone of them. So let's have a look at Cameron's now. So as I say, this was just Cameron on his own speaking. So it should be coming up now. Put it back to the beginning, put the sound up.
This is Cameron Guthrie. I'm speaking for the Guthrie family. This is Cameron Guthrie. I'm speaking for the Guthrie family. Whoever is out there holding our mother, we want to hear from you. We haven't heard anything directly. We need you to reach out, and we need a way to communicate with you so we can move forward. But first, we have to know that you have our mom. We want to talk to you, and we are waiting for contact.
Yeah, so those first 2, really, they were asking for proof of life, weren't they? Because they'd had these kidnap requests, but they'd had no proof of life. Normally a kidnapper will send a photo of the victim, maybe taped, with a gag on or something like that, but they'll show that they are alive because, they're not going to hand over $6 million, which reportedly they were asking for. The kidnappers not going to hand over $6 million when they don't even know if their mum is still alive, are they? So, it was strange, isn't it? So that was the first 2. So the first one was the 3 siblings together. The second one's Cameron. I'm going to just play it one more time. But the similar theme there is they're asking, we need to know that, our mother is still alive. We need proof of life. That's basically what they're saying. And they seem to feel that their mum was alive, certainly in the first one, because they made the appeal not only to the kidnapper, but also to their mum. So Cameron here, though, is appealing directly to the kidnapper. He's reading off a piece of paper. It's a very short message. But, it's strange, isn't it? So why the 3 of them in the first one? Second appeal was just Cameron.
This is Cameron Guthrie. I'm speaking for the Guthrie family. Whoever is out there holding our mother, we want to hear from you. We haven't heard anything directly. We need you to reach out, and we need a way to communicate with you so we can move forward. But first, we have to know that you have our mom. We want to talk to you, and we are waiting for contact.
Yeah, that was the other strange thing, of course. So the kidnap notes, this is the other reason why people don't think they're real, is because they didn't give any way for them to contact the kidnappers. What kidnapper sends a ransom note and doesn't give people any way of contacting them to arrange, for the ransom to be handed over? I mean, of course, you've got to give, all the people that have been on talking about, that have experience in hostage situations that have been on, have said there's always a dialogue between the kidnapper and the family of the victim. That's how kidnappings go. There's a dialogue. There's no dialogue in this. It's just that email sent or couple of emails sent, no proof of life, no way of contacting them. You know, it never felt like a kidnapping right from the beginning, personally. I think, yeah, and yeah, poor lady and her family. You know, the thing is, yeah, you know, we want Nancy to be alive, but you know, she's going through hell if she is alive, of course, because she's poorly, she's elderly. You know, she would be going through hell, and her family are going through hell. But you can see maybe in those first couple of appeals they had a bit of hope, but I feel like the hope dwindles as it goes on. Anyway, so yeah, that was the second. God, where am I? That was the second one. Then there was another family one done with the three of them, and that's the one we're going to look at now. And again, it was different from the all the appeals have been different. They're at different stages, aren't they? Let's have a look at this one. So this was the third one, and this is the three of them again. Back to the three of them. So we had that one with Cameron on his own, and now one. Oh, yeah, it was that funny language, wasn't it? We beg you to return our mother to us so we can celebrate with her. It was just funny language. I don't know. Celebrate. You felt with this appeal they'd lost hope a little bit of her maybe being alive, whereas in the first appeal it did feel like they were hopeful. Look at Cameron's face, look at Annie's face. They, you know, Savannah is the person in the forefront, I suppose, because Savannah is famous at the end of the day. So, but that also makes me wonder because in both of the videos of all the family together, Savannah has been in the middle now. I know she's the famous one, but is it because she is somehow at the crux of what has happened here? Is this some sort of revenge thing against Savannah? You know, it's a possibility, isn't it? So just seems odd to me. She's always at the centre, the forefront. She's the one who's speaking. Is that just because she's the famous one? Anyway, this is yeah. This is very valuable to us, and we will pay. Odd words. Well, you know, there's a reason. That's a script she's reading from. I mean, to me, there's a reason for everything that they're saying. Does she have an idea of who it is? You know, has she had a stalker, someone who's threatened harm to her family? Um, yeah. Yeah, no request there for proof of life. It felt to me like maybe let's go. I don't, no offense, lady, but I don't really want to listen to what you're saying. I just want to see. Yeah, is there now no proof of life because they don't feel that Nancy is alive, or they've got a different theory now? Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that celebrate, you know, and people said when I played that before, is that celebration of life they're talking about? Do they know? Now, because the thing is, the family will know more. Because if the police have seen Nancy being carried out of that house, maybe deceased, have they told the Guthrie family this? You know, exactly. Nancy won't be celebrating after her ordeal, even if she's found safe physically. You imagine the mental trauma she's been through, being taken from that house by a masked man. Just keeps playing in my mind what an awful situation for that lady. Whichever way you look at it, whether she's alive or dead, she's been through hell. And bless her, just so cruel. These people are so cruel that have done it. What? Put that up there. Probably I didn't. You know what I'm like. Let's go back. I just want to show the. Just want to show them.
Tone in the video message to her mother's kidnappers, released Saturday.
It's clear, I think, that they are preparing themselves for the worst here.
This touching appeal.
We beg you now to return our mother to us so that we can celebrate with her. This is the only way we will have peace. This is very valuable to us, and we will pay.
It was recorded after Nancy Guthrie's 3 children reportedly received a new message from the person claiming to be the kidnapper. And it's very different from their first video. There's no...
Vanna looks up. She looks absolutely grief-stricken. Their eyes are puffy as if they have been crying. And when Savannah says that they understand...
We received your message, and we understand.
Her sister Annie looks like she is about to burst into tears with the unsaid words of what they understand. The idea that they're using the word celebrate with her really evokes in almost everyone's mind a celebration of life, which is very often what you do at a memorial service.
Former FBI Special Agent Jennifer Coffindaffer agrees. The wording, this is very valuable to us, not she's very valuable, but this is very valuable to us. It doesn't sound like something you would say if you were going to be...
Yeah, it's an odd thing to say, isn't it? Whichever way.
Reunited.
This is very valuable to us.
Their wording was so important because they said, this is very valuable, which in my mind means the return of Nancy Guthrie, even if she is not alive, that's important to them, for them to have peace.
So that was the third one. That was the third appeal. And that was the last one so far. There was the first one with the family. The second one was Cameron on his own. The third one was the whole family. And now the fourth one was just Savannah. So the last 2 appeals have only been Savannah speaking. And this is what's making me wonder, is this more connected with Savannah? You know, because why is it now just Savannah speaking? Why is it not all the family? Sorry, I'll just share it. Try and remember this time. You know, I don't like sharing. Whoops. Why? Oops. Bloody hell. Why is it just Savannah now for these last 2? Where's the rest of the family gone?
Enter into another week of this nightmare. I just want to say, first of all, thank you so much for all of the prayers and the love that we have felt, my sister and brother and I, and that our mom has felt. Yeah. Because we believe that somehow, some way, she is feeling these prayers, and that God is lifting her even in this moment and in this darkest place. We believe our mom is still out there.
She is out there.
We need your help. Law enforcement is working tirelessly around the clock trying to bring her home, trying to find her. She was taken and we don't know where. And we need your help. So I'm coming on just to ask you, not just for your prayers, but no matter where you are, even if you're far from Tucson, if you see anything, if you hear anything, if there's anything at all that seems strange to you, that you report to law enforcement.
Now, it's interesting she said there, even if you're far from Tucson, was she thinking of Mexico there? You know, is it because the thing is, if she's been taken to Mexico, someone somewhere will know. I really do believe that, because word gets around families. There'll be somebody, and there's a massive reward. See, this is the other thing. The reward is over $200,000 now. So there's a massive reward. So I just feel that if somebody, if she'd been taken to Mexico and somebody had seen something, or somebody would have, would want that reward. But yeah, this appeal is completely different from the others. It's not even talking to kidnappers at all, is it? It's just appealing to the public for help and thanking them for their prayers and hoping that a mum can see these prayers wherever she is. It's very different, this appeal, from the others.
We are at an hour of desperation.
An hour of desperation.
And we need your help.
We need your help. Let's watch it again.
Hi there, everybody. I wanted to come on and just share a few thoughts as we enter into another week of this nightmare. I just want to say, first of all, thank you so much for all of the prayers and the love that we have felt, my sister and brother and I, and that our mom has felt. Because we believe that somehow, some way, she is feeling these prayers and that God is lifting her even in this moment and in this darkest place. We believe our mom is still out there. We need your help. Law enforcement is working tirelessly around the clock trying to bring her home, trying to find her. She was taken and we don't know where. And we need your help. So I'm coming on just to ask you, not just for your prayers, but no matter where you are, even if you're far from Tucson, if you see anything, you hear anything, if there's anything at all that seems strange to you, that you report to law enforcement. We are at an hour of desperation, and we need your help.
Okay, so yeah, so completely different, that one, wasn't it, from the first three? So we had the first one with all the family pleading to the kidnappers and to their mum as if she were, trying to send a message to their mum as if she was still alive. We had the second appeal that was only from Cameron alone, asking for proof of life, before they would pay the ransom, and asking for a way to contact the kidnappers. Then we had the third one, which was all the family, but it seemed, they were asking for those odd things that they said, we need our mother home, so we can celebrate with her. And they all looked absolutely devastated, didn't they? And then that fourth one, just Savannah, just nothing, no mention of the kidnappers or anything like that. It's like they've gone past that, asking for the public's help. And then the very last one, the last one that has been put out there, again, just Savannah on her own. Where's it gone? Savannah looks absolutely, And each one, bless this family, she looks just devastated. You know, you can tell it's having a toll on her, as it would. We're looking at 3 weeks now, no real developments, no further on. You know, Savannah just looks exhausted. You know, let's have a look at this one. So this is the latest one. But again, Savannah on her own. So we've had the 3 siblings together, Cameron on his own, the 3 siblings together again, and then 2 appeals by Savannah alone.
Has addressed the kidnappers of her 84-year-old mother, Nancy, in a new video posted on social media. In the emotional message, Ms. Guthrie said it was never too late to do the right thing. Yeah. Nancy Guthrie went missing more than 2 weeks ago, and police believe she was abducted from her home in Arizona. Investigators are examining DNA from a glove that was recovered from a field about 3 kilometers away. They say the glove appears to match those worn by a masked intruder who was seen in...
Now, remember, that glove means nothing. So the police have dispelled that glove that was found in the field. But they do have DNA from a glove that was found on the scene, or they've got some DNA from the scene. And that, of course, that did not flag up a hit in CODIS. But they're now entering it in the genealogy pool. So hopefully something will...
Doorbell video footage at the house. This is Savannah Guthrie's latest Instagram post.
It's been 2 weeks since our mom was taken, and I just wanted to come on and say that we still have hope.
Yeah, so she says we still have hope, and then she says some other really strange things, I think. There's more to this. This is what I'm starting to go on the way that maybe it is connected with Savannah in the sense of somebody targeting her.
And we still believe. And I wanted to say to whoever has her or knows where she is, that it's never too late. And you're not lost or alone.
You're not lost or alone. And people are saying this has some sort of connection with maybe one of her books. So she's not even talking to her mum there, you know, and she's not asking the public for help. She's talking directly to whoever who has them, but she's saying you're not lost or alone. Very odd, these messages. There'll be a reason for it.
And it is never too late to do the right thing. And we are here. We believe. And we believe in the essential goodness of every human being.
Now, when she says we are here and we believe, unfortunately, when you look at her face, she does look absolutely desperate. I don't know if she is believing in that moment, but she said we believe in the essential goodness of every human being. It's never too late to do the right thing.
It's never too late.
Never too late.
Well, our correspondent David Willis is in Tucson and has the...
So those are all the appeals so far. And very different, all of them, aren't they? Very, very different appeals. And the last 2 have been Savannah alone. Annie has never done one, just her. Cameron did that very short one, just him. But all the others, really, Savannah has been at the forefront. And maybe that's just because at the end of the day, she is famous. Or is it because it's believed that it is the whole point behind this is some sort of target against Savannah, you know? So anyway, I just want to sum up what I was. So I just wanted to go back to sort of, because there's not really been any proper developments, and then I feel like rumors and theories are getting a bit out of hand, you know, like about, I mean, I know she could have been taken to Mexico, but it just doesn't feel like, I don't know where she is. I mean, having said that, I have no clue where she is, but just seems strange to me about her being taken to Mexico. But anyway, and I was wondering about this Algerian connection or Arabic or Iranian, as old hippie was saying, there's a lot of Iranians, because that kidnapper to me, or the man that was at the door, had very thick eyelashes, like more of a, as a, you know, it could be Hispanic or it could be some sort of Arabic ethnicity, with the very striking eyes and the thick eyelashes for a man, if it is a man. So it could be a woman, but they would have false facial hair on, because that person, under that mask, there was clearly facial hair. But of course, that can be staged, can't it? So, you know, who knows? Oh, and because of this thing about there was a spike in searches of Nancy Guthrie's name in Algeria, apparently, before she disappeared. Just, again, I'm doing my theories just like everybody else's. My theory is not that she's gone to Mexico, though, but I don't know where she is. I do think the DNA clue, though, although it's taken a long time, you know, I think that is the one bit of proper, apart from the CCTV, of course, at the door. The DNA is something that they have got, and although it didn't flash up on CODIS, it is something that when they do finally arrest a suspect, they have got DNA to test. So, you know, and that will help with the case, make the case for them. If the DNA of whoever they end up arresting for this, their DNA will match. They've got a DNA to, and that is always a help, isn't it? Yeah, and the other thing, I just want to know why it's not been released what Nancy was wearing. It's not been released what she was wearing the night before when she went round to see Annie and Tommaso. We don't know, was she in her 90 when she was taken? Do they even know? Do they have, I just think they must have more door cam. They must have door cam of Nancy being taken out of the house. If they've got door cam of the man going into the house, surely they've got door cam of her coming out to the house. We know she was stood in the front doorway because the blood was found there. So at some point she was bleeding in that front doorway. Can't they find that footage? You know, and that is strange, that blood as well, isn't it? Does that mean she was shot? Was she hit over the head? Did she put up a fight? You know, because she may be 84, but I'm sure she could still put up a little bit of a fight. You know, we'd all have a go, wouldn't we? You wouldn't want to be taken from your home. And the other thing I just wanted to say, oh yeah, about the unusual names. So this sort of Arabic or Iranian connection that I keep coming back to because of the eyes. Apparently at the gun shops where the police have been with 40 names, asking the gun shops if they know these people, etc., photos and names. Someone in one of the gun shops said they were unusual names, and you would not think of Hispanic names as unusual if you lived in Arizona and you were, you know, because there are a lot of because it's so close to the border, you wouldn't see a name like Sanchez or, I don't know, Martinez or some typical Latino name. You wouldn't think of that as unusual because you'd see lots of those kind of names. So why did that gun shop owner think they were unusual names? Were they Arabic names? Were they, you know, Iranian names, or what nationality were they? Why did he make that comment? You know, it obviously wasn't John Smith or, you know, or even, as I say, Pedro Martinez or something like that. For them to say that the names were unusual just made me wonder, why were they unusual? What else did I just... Oh, yeah, and just to remind you, no press briefings from Sheriff Nano, you know, Deputy Dog said yesterday, no press briefings today, Thursday, No press briefings tomorrow, Friday, and none over the weekend unless there's a development. You know, but it doesn't matter with this sheriff whether there's developments or not. We don't know what he considers a development. He didn't even think it was worth a press briefing when they arrested or detained 2 guys in SWAT raids. That wasn't even worth a press briefing, you know, to Sheriff Nanos. So we're not likely to get a press briefing really unless somebody, you know, I don't know, is bloody arrested. Oh, and talking of the people that have been detained so far, you know, they're fuming. That Carlos guy who was the first one who was detained, then this Luke guy that everybody's been talking about. You know, the thing is, I don't know, they are under suspicion now. Whatever happens, the sheriff hasn't come out and said, "Oh yeah, you know, they're 100% clear." You know, he doesn't come out and say things like that, does he, until he's pushed. He's only just said that about the family, and now he's saying that the family were clear from day one. So Tommaso has gone under all that scrutiny for 2 weeks before the sheriff came out and said the family and the spouses are clear. You just can't believe anything that guy says. So anyway, that's it for today. So yeah, not real developments, just musings really about the case. Let me know as always what you think. Do you think they've gone to Mexico? Do you think this is a targeted attack on Nancy to make Savannah suffer, or do you think it's a burglary gone wrong? Or you know, what are your thoughts? Let me know your thoughts. It's certainly an absolute mystery. It's not, you know, for an 84-year-old woman to be just taken like that. I don't know, it seems strange. Well, it is strange. Where is she? Where is Nancy? My own personal feelings, as I say, and they're only feelings, I feel like she's nearby. I don't know why, I just do. And I had this sort of dream type thing that she was in a well. I had a weird dream last night, actually. Oh God! Thing is, when you follow these cases, they end up affecting you even when you're sleeping. You think about them, and as I'm sleeping, I'm half listening to JLR on the scene, and I had this dream that I was with. I had all these bags. I had like a rucksack, like they did at the scene. That full rucksack is bugging me as well. Why did they have a full rucksack to go and burgle a home if that's what they were going to do? And I had a rucksack, and I also had my our German Shepherd with me, and I was trying to make my way from Spain to the UK, but I had nothing. I had like no money, no credit card, no. I don't know how I thought I was going to do it. And I was and I had the dog with me. And I was thinking, how am I going to do this? We're going to have to walk. We're going to have to walk. And it's a long way. It's a long way to walk, isn't it? From Spain to the UK. Obviously, this is only a dream, but it was a very strange dream. And I was like panicking, and I was thinking, oh, I don't know how I'm going to do this. I don't know how I'm going to get to the UK with the dog, and I haven't even booked a flight, and I'm going to have to walk, and all that was going through my head. And then luckily, so I was getting really anxious, even in my sleep, you know, like you do when you're having a strange dream and you start to feel anxious. And then I woke up, and I was never been so glad to wake up, you know, to realise that it was just a dream. You know, that I was just in bed, like, you know, I wasn't having to walk from Spain to the UK with a German Shepherd and a rucksack. But it's strange because then when I got up and watched Brian Ensign's video, there was a guy on there with a German Shepherd, a search dog and that, and I thought, oh my God. Hi, Admits. Oh, you've just come in at the end, I'm afraid. I'm just about to finish off now. But I'll see you later in the Members Live tonight. Yeah, so anyway, thank you for watching. Thank you for caring about Nancy. As I say, leave me your comments in this crazy case. Oh, I hope there's a break in it soon. You just don't feel that they know anything, do you? But there, I have to keep reminding myself there will be things going on behind the scenes. There will be things. Please God, there are things going on behind the scenes, and maybe there'll be a break in this case today. So let's hope so. So prayers for Nancy, prayers for her family. Have a great day, afternoon or evening. I'll see you really soon in the next video. And until then, may your God go with you. Bye.